Hello everyone. So today I'm going to be answering a really common question that we get when we've been showing this, automated host cell protein analysis software to customers and people that are interested in. Something that comes up time and time again is, where are you getting your data from? How are you building your database of host cell proteins, and how are you aligning that with danger level, risk level? How are you stratifying this? Where's your data coming from? It's a great question to ask. So the database that comes with the software we've called the Turbinia HCP database, basically, and you can define that within your experiment setup. So we've got it here, the Turbinia host cell protein database, and this was generated by using artificial intelligence to run through all the published papers that have host cell proteins mentioned, and categorize them, basically scrape them for the risk level and where that risk lies. So if there is a paper published with an identified HCP and they've identified a risk, an immunogenicity risk, or if it's a lipase, if there's a drug stability risk, we've got that information. That's what we've built our database on. So we performed this a couple of months ago, but this is not a continuously ongoing service. So we give people a host cell protein database that is something to start them off with. However, we can facilitate, a lot of companies have their own IP, have their own host cell protein database that is specific for their platform, their production methods, and they want to obviously be able to use that in an automated context. We can integrate that with the SpotMap MS software. By no means are you limited to just using the database that we've provided you. However, we wanted people that are coming into this industry, that are new to this industry, that may not have already developed their own database, to have a fallback option. So as soon as you get the software, you're ready to go. There's no cost associated with the database. Comes with the software on the caveat that, it's not continuously being monitored or updated. It's a starting point, but it's not, continuously being updated like the BioPhorum database. So that brings me through to basically this foundational paper of host cell protein analysis within the industry. Now, the vast majority of people that are probably interested in this product or are watching this video will have read this paper, and a lot are still using this paper as the gold standard for host cell protein risk management and identification, even though it was published, 4 years ago. This is what's colloquially known in the industry as the BioPhorum HCP paper, or the BioPhorum HCP database. It has been updated since then, and you can find the free version of the database on their website, but that is no longer being updated. So there is now a paid for, routinely updated host cell protein database that is on the BioPhorum website. But what we can say is that our host cell protein database contains almost twice as many host cell proteins along with risk level as this paper, as the free BioPhorum database. However, because we do not have access to the continuously curated version of the database that BioPhorum offer as a subscription model, we can't say how many we have compared to that. So our number of host cell proteins is greater than this paper. So we have many more than the free version of the BioPhorum database, but we likely do not have as many, but we don't know how, it may be 3 more that are in the paid for database. It may be 100, we don't know. But that's often a question that comes up, how do we compare to the gold standard database in the industry? And right now we have a lot more than the free database. We have a lot more, and we have a lot more assigned risk levels, and we're much more up to date than this paper, certainly, but likely the free database as well, because that's not been updated very recently. It's, they've moved to the paid model with the continuously updated BioPhorum database, and you pay for that level of kind of risk mitigation, that it is continuously being updated and it's being verified by humans that are experts in the field. It's on you to decide, the value proposition for you and your company to use a service like that. Another question we get asked again, where do we get our numbers from? Where do we get our database from? We do actually allow users to see all the information that we're using as part of this database and as part of this kind of the common contaminants file that we use as well. So if we come into the help documents here and we scroll right down to the bottom, you can download a full CSV of the Turbinia host cell protein database and the database of common contaminants, which comes from MetaMorpheus, which we use as kind of a search engine. It's a very common kind of search engine platform. It underlies a lot of different mass spec based analysis software, and we use it as well, but we use a highly tuned version of it to provide the level of automation that our software can offer. But if you click either of those links, you will be directed to the CSV files for whichever one you clicked on. So this is the Turbinia wholesale protein database. So we've got a number of entries here, all based on molecular weight and uniprot accession number, so you can look up the protein that it correlates to. But down at the bottom here is where we've got all the kind of the risk information. And down here we have the DOI that links to the paper that we've identified and gathered this information from. So we've got full traceability about which wholesale proteins we're identifying, how we've stratified the risk level, what's the uniprot accession number, what paper has informed us and our AI search engine that, this is where the risk lies and that this is risky. So we've got full transparency here. And again, you can plug in your own database and we'd be happy to support you to be able to do that. This is just a getting started point. So I hope that answers the question of, what's in your database, how does it compare to what's already out there, and how can I look at it basically, how can I validate it myself? We're completely transparent with that information. And again, if we come along to the common contaminants MetaMorpheus CSV, we've got all that information here, protein name, accession number, molecular weight. It's all extremely dry, but it's all extremely open. So you can look for exactly what we're searching for on our default settings. Again, this will change if you have your own FASTA files, if you have your own kind of common contaminants file that you want to integrate with the software. It's absolutely something we can help you do. If you're not interested in, if you're, not ever going to test anything that might have bovine contamination, you only focus on human, that's definitely something we can talk about and we can help, calibrate and develop SpotMap MS to be very specific for your process, to then benefit from the time savings of automation, the reduction in inter-operator variability and inter-operator error, and really shore up your data by making it very specific for your process and your pathway. I hope this answers some of the questions that are out there around, there's a lot of questions around databasing and how do you know your results are correct. It's because our software is so automated that we've allowed people to not have to get as close to the metal and not be as involved in the analysis. That's what we've aimed for. We've wanted to automate this as much as possible. But I appreciate that some people out there will be used to getting this level of detail from their analysis. It's a double-edged sword because having that level of access to all of the settings of the parameters for your analysis is one source of interoperator variability and interoperator error. How do you know everyone's using the same settings that you are? But we want to be completely transparent with it and be able to have a lot of evidence to allow people to see that our analysis is rigorous and you can see all the data for yourself if you so wish. So yeah, this is a quick run through of how we built our wholesale protein database, how we are confident that we can rely on it, and how you can be confident that you can rely on it as well if you are choosing to use it in the SpotMap MS software. Please feel free to check out the links in the description below to access your free trial of the SpotMap MS software. Try it on your own try it on your own data in-house. If you've got any feedback, please leave it in the comments below or reach out to us directly if you're interested in kind of custom configurations of SpotMap MS to automate your wholesale protein analysis workflow. Please get in touch, we'll be all ears.